Hi there, this is Lana from acnealpaca.com. Today I want to ask you, do you suffer from pimples or zits? Or would you like to get rid of them overnight? If the answer is yes, this video is definitely for you. I'll tell you how to tackle existing pimples and how to prevent them from forming in the first place. Stay tuned. If the worst has happened and a pimple has already formed, it's going to take more time because you can only minimize the damage and you will have to wait it out. Now, let's take a look at the preventative measures. Number 1, zinc. Zinc is involved in hundreds of chemical reactions in the body, and it's a great supplement for your skin. Foods that include zinc include beef, poultry, spinach, flax seeds, watermelon seed, and pumpkin seeds. I take a zinc supplement, and I would also highly recommend you do the same. The form of zinc that I recommend for you is zinc gluconate supplement because it has the most effective absorption rate. You always want to make sure that you have the most efficient supplement available. And I will provide a few links for you in the description, so make sure to check it out. And they're all zinc gluconate. And you should avoid ingesting calcium and any dairy products simultaneously, as it will inhibit zinc absorption. Here are some of the other Acne Alpaca's top tips on overnight pimple treatment. Number 2, ice cubes. For a pimple that has not infected fully, ice can be used on them. It really helps reduce the redness, swelling, and inflammation of the pimples. And it also urges the oil organs to contract and push the abundance of oil from the disturbed organs and hair follicles. Ice cubes also help to improve the blood circulation to the affected area and tighten your skin pores. So in order to do this, simply wrap a piece of ice in some kind of a textile, a soft textile, so you will not burn your skin with the ice, and put it on the affected areas for a minute or two, for as long as you can comfortably hold the ice against your skin. And give the break of a few minutes, and then just simply repeat this until you can see instant results, and it will really reduce the inflammation and the redness and the swelling of the pimple or pimples you have. This is really effective. Number 3, lemon. Lemon juice is delicious, but it's also effective and fast when it comes to getting rid of pimples. Lemon juice is really enriched in vitamin C, which helps pimples to dry up much faster than they normally would. And you can use fresh lemon juice or the bottled one, it doesn't really matter. And there are 2 ways in which you can apply lemon juice on your skin. Number 1, you can either dip a cotton swab in lemon juice and apply it on the pimples before going to bed and just leave it on your skin when you go to sleep. Or alternatively, you can dip a cotton ball in fresh lemon juice with 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder and apply it on the pimples. Leave it for the night and wash it with lukewarm water in the morning. This remedy, however, is not for sensitive skin. Just for your information, be careful because this is pretty powerful because of the acid in the lemon juice. Number 4 is toothpaste. That's really a classic, everybody knows it. You can use it anywhere, basically anytime. If you have a couple of hours, basically if you have just 30 minutes, it's great before going to bed. If you haven't ever tried it, I highly recommend you try it. So it's really one of the easiest methods. You simply apply a tiny amount of toothpaste to your pimples. It's not going to look pretty, but it's really efficient. Just apply it on the affected skin areas before sleeping, or if you're just gonna hang out in your house or whatnot in a private place. and just wash your face in the morning or after an hour or half an hour or so, and you will see instant noticeable improvement in swelling, and also like the zits have gone from this size to a minuscule mini zit. You can repeat this process whenever you want, basically wherever you want. It doesn't really matter. It's a pretty common practice, so I don't think that people will mind if you are like in a hostel or you know, somewhere, even somewhere public. At least here in Europe, people wouldn't mind. I don't know about the US, but here people wouldn't mind, so that's a really great tip. The next tip I'm going to give you from Acne Alpaca is pretty surprising, not such a conventional one, and that is green tea. There are many studies which prove that green tea has shown magical effects on acne and pimples when used externally. Green tea contains an antioxidant called epigallocatechin 3 gallate, or EGCG. ECGC helps in reducing the sebum production, bacterial growth, and inflammation in acne-prone skin. So this means that it solves the problems that are responsible for pimples in the first place. The directions for using green tea is basically you just take a green tea bag, or if you have any green tea leaves, place them in hot water. Make sure that the water isn't boiling, because that will spoil the active ECGC in the green tea. So hot water, let it sit down and cool down for about 5 to 10 minutes until it's, you know, warm that you can touch it and put it on your skin, and let it be there for about 5 to 10 minutes. Just take it off and rinse your skin, and you're ready to go, and you will see that your pimples and zits have calmed down. Now the next tip, number 6, is pretty similar to green tea, because I'm gonna advise you to try out green tea oil. It's a very effective remedy for getting rid of pimples overnight, and it has antibacterial properties which help in fighting the microscopic organisms, and it kills bacteria that causes pimples in the first place. My dog is very playful at the moment, so there. It really works like a solvent which penetrates through the extra sebum, that is the excess oil that's on your skin, and it further unblocks the pores and removes the dead skin cells at the same time. Additionally, it helps in reducing the redness and inflammation of pimples. So before you use tea tree oil, which is widely accessible in special natural stores and maybe even supermarkets, you need to dilute it a little bit because it's pretty potent stuff. So simply you can add a drop of oil to 9 drops of water, and then you should wash your face and dry your face as well completely, and after that you should dip a cotton ball in the diluted tea tree oil and apply it on the affected areas and on the pimples, and just leave it there and let it dry, and wash it out, rinse it after approximately 20 minutes. Alternatively, you can take 1 tablespoon of aloe vera gel and add a couple drops of that into your tea tree oil mixture. Now you can also apply this version to your pimples directly with the help of a cotton ball to make sure that it's really clean when you apply it on your pimples, and just leave it there, let it sit for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then just wash your face regularly. Next up, number 7. This is a bit more surprising tip. It's widely used for headaches, but people don't really know that you can also use this for acne. So it's aspirin and ibuprofen, also known as Advil in the US. So aspirin and ibuprofen are two really effective and quick home remedies. They are very inexpensive, fast, and they actually work amazingly well. So you can just take an Advil or some ibuprofen internally, because the active agents also, their main kind of like task is to work as an anti-inflammatory agent in your body, so that also helps with acne. And my top one tip would be to make a paste out of Advil or ibuprofen or aspirin. So basically you just crush a few pills and add just a few drops of water to make a nice paste, and this just then add it to your skin and let it sit there for about 15 minutes until it dries, and rinse it off. You might want to use a moisturizer after this in case you have a dry skin, and you can also repeat it for a day or 2 or 3, and you can really expect very good results with this technique. Next up, number 7. This is a bit more surprising tip. It's widely used for headaches, but people don't really know that you can also use this for acne. So it's aspirin and ibuprofen, also known as Advil in the US. So aspirin and ibuprofen are two really effective and quick home remedies. They are very inexpensive, fast, and they actually work amazingly well. So you can just take an Advil or some ibuprofen internally, because the active agents also, their main kind of like task is to work as an anti-inflammatory agent in your body, so that also helps with acne. And my top one tip would be to make a paste out of Advil or ibuprofen or aspirin. So basically you just crush a few pills and add just a few drops of water to make a nice paste, and this just then add it to your skin and let it sit there for about 15 minutes until it dries, and rinse it off. You might want to use a moisturizer after this in case you have a dry skin, and you can also repeat it for a day or 2 or 3, and you can really expect very good results with this technique. Next up is baking soda. This is probably the most inexpensive and absolutely not the least ingredient on the list of your fast at home pimple remedies. The instructions are the same as with Advil, ibuprofen, and aspirin. So simply wash the affected area, in other words, your face, your chest, or your back, and make a paste by taking some baking soda and then making a paste, and apply the paste to your pimples and leave the paste until it's dry. You can wash the paste off once it has hardened. However, remember to add moisturizer afterwards if you want to try this technique, as keeping the paste on your skin more than 30 minutes may dry out your skin. So this is also a pretty good tip for anybody with oily skin, because it'll also drain the oil from your skin in the process. Remember to check out the moisturizer tips in the links of this video after you've watched this. Number 9, honey. Honey is really your sweet, sweet friend. Unlike a baking soda, it's lightly hydrating. It's one of the simplest and quickest ways to diminish pimples, and you will not need any other ingredients at all. Simply apply it to the affected areas and let it dry for an hour or so. You know, it's so gooey, so you will need to give it a little bit more time. If you sleep on your back and don't want to make a mess, you can also leave the honey mask on for the night and rinse it off the next morning. Your pimples will really have diminished in the next morning, because after you've let it dry down, and when you go to bed, if you sleep on your back, it's really sucking out all the bad stuff from your face, and it's really effective as a quick acne remedy.